2025 was an extremely active year for tornadoes across the United States, with just over 1,400 tornadoes being confirmed as of December 29th. Many of the 1,400 tornadoes were weak, but 41 of them caused enough damage to be considered significant, or EF3 or higher on the Fujita scale. In this video, I'll be going over the 10 strongest tornadoes of 2025 by estimated wind speeds from the EF scale. Number 10 on our list takes us to June 28th in rural South Dakota with the EF3 rated Gary, South Dakota tornado, which had estimated wind speeds of 165 miles per hour. Across eastern South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota, and northwestern Iowa, a moderate risk was in place mainly for damaging winds through the evening hours. However, a 5% risk for tornadoes was in place as well. The setup was expected to begin as a few discrete supercells before later merging into a larger linear storm mode by nighttime. By late afternoon, multiple supercells began to fire in South Dakota. As these supercells continued to develop, they began to take advantage of the strong shear and favorable storm mode occurring. Then, at 8:10 p.m., the Gary tornado touched down just east of Clear Lake, South Dakota. Over the tornado's lifetime, it had a nearly 40-minute track that stretched roughly 9.71 miles. Fortunately, nobody was killed by the tornado, but 2 were injured. The tornado had caused damage in multiple properties, but the property with the most extensive damage included a completely destroyed farmhouse, a garage, 2 machine sheds, several silos/grain bins, and a barn. Additionally, vehicles in one garage were picked up and tossed, including a half-ton pickup hurled 300 yards northeast. Number 9 on the list takes us to the Fremont, Missouri EF3 on March 14th, with wind speeds estimated 165 miles per hour. Unlike the Gary, South Dakota tornado, which was slow-moving, photogenic, and in the daytime, the Fremont tornado was fast-moving, rain-wrapped, and at night. This tornado was a part of the devastating March 13th through 16th outbreak, which in total caused 118 tornadoes, with 11 being rated EF3 and 3 being rated EF4. Many of these tornadoes will be later mentioned in this video. As for the overall setup on the 14th, a powerful upper-level trough was in place over the region. As a result, the SPC issued a 15% risk for significant tornadoes over a massive portion of the central United States for the evening and overnight hours of the 14th. As supercells began to fire across southern Missouri and northern Arkansas, multiple strong to violent tornadoes began to form. Then, at 9:11 p.m., a supercell near Brandsville, Missouri began to produce the Fremont tornado. In total, the tornado tracked northeast for 58 miles before lifting in Reynolds County at 10:26 p.m. after being on the ground for an hour and 15 minutes. The peak wind speed was 165 miles per hour, with a maximum width of 800 yards. There were no reported injuries or fatalities from the tornado at the time of recording. The 8th tornado on our list also occurred during the March 14th tornado outbreak. The Cushman, Arkansas tornado formed around 60 miles to the direct south of the Fremont tornado. At around 10:16 p.m., while the Fremont tornado was still ongoing, the Cushman tornado touched down just southwest of Cushman, Arkansas. The tornado then carved a nearly 82-mile path through the northeastern Arkansas during its 1 hour and 36 minutes on the ground. Unfortunately, the tornado killed 3 people over its lifetime. The peak wind speeds of this tornado were estimated to be 165 miles per hour. The 7th tornado on our list was another 165 mile per hour EF3 rated tornado that also occurred on March 14th near the small town of Millspring, Missouri. This tornado occurred even closer to the Fremont tornado, with just 8 miles separating the 2 paths. While both the Fremont and Cushman tornadoes were occurring, at 10:28 p.m., the Millspring tornado touched down just northeast of Eastwood, Missouri. The tornado was on the ground for 28 minutes, while traveling just over 31 miles. Unfortunately, 2 people died when their camper was tossed into the nearby Black River. Additionally, thousands of trees were damaged or snapped along the path of this tornado. Based on damage estimates, the tornado was rated at EF3 165. Our next tornado brings us into the violent, or EF4 plus category of the tornadoes of 2025. The violent tornado list starts off with the sixth strongest tornado of 2025, the EF4, 170 mile-per-hour rated 56 Arkansas tornado on March 14th. Once again, the March 14th outbreak is making an appearance on the list, but this time as an EF4. It still won't be the last time the March 14th outbreak makes an appearance on this list. At just around 9:11 p.m., the tornado first touched down near the small Arkansas town of Alco. The tornado then continued its path northeastward for an astonishing 119 miles in just over 2 hours and 13 minutes, making it the longest track single tornado in 2025 by a wide margin. Along the tornado's path, it injured 5 people and fortunately caused no fatalities. In the end, it was rated at EF4, with estimated wind speeds reaching 170 miles per hour. Number 5 on the list brings us to the next day, on March 15th, to the town of Tylertown, Mississippi, where another 170 mile per hour EF4 struck. Another powerful upper-level trough was in place on the 15th, bringing ample wind shear over the region for a potentially significant tornado outbreak across Dixie Alley. The SBC had issued a rare high risk with a 30% chance of significant tornadoes over portions of Mississippi and Alabama. Much of the high-risk region performed below expectations due to lingering cloud cover over the region, but over the southern portion of the risk where it was clearer, multiple significant tornadoes took place. Then, at 12:17 p.m., the Tylertown tornado touched down near Kentwood, Louisiana. Over its hour and 22-minute life, the tornado obliterated numerous homes and businesses. Unfortunately, the tornado became the deadliest of the entire March 13th through 16th outbreak, killing 5 and injuring 9 others. In the end, the tornado was rated at EF4, with max wind speeds estimated to be around 170 miles per hour. Number 4 on our list takes us to another major outbreak from the 2025 that occurred on May 16th across the central United States to the town of London, Kentucky, where a long-track 170 mile per hour EF4 hit a town. The May 16th outbreak was a rare combination of exceptionally potent upper-level dynamics and late-spring thermodynamics across a large portion of the country. As a result, the SBC issued a large 15% risk for significant tornadoes. As with the March 14th outbreak, numerous powerful supercells fired across the warm sector and began to produce significant tornadoes. Near the end of the event, a powerful supercell was continuing to track across Kentucky through the nighttime hours. As the supercell continued to make its way across Kentucky, it produced a violent tornado, which touched down at 9:26 p.m. near the town of Jamestown, Kentucky. Over the tornado's 1.5 hours of lifetime, it traveled 60 miles and destroyed numerous residential areas. The London tornado unfortunately became the deadliest single tornado of 2025, causing 19 deaths and 108 injuries over its duration. In the end, the tornado was rated at EF4 with estimated wind speeds of 170 miles per hour. Number 3 on our list once again brings us to the May 16th outbreak, but this time near Marion, Illinois during the afternoon hours, where an EF4 with 190 mile-per-hour winds struck numerous towns. At 6:15 p.m., a powerful supercell began to produce an extremely violent tornado near Wolf Creek, Illinois. In just 17 minutes, the violent tornado carved a 16.5-mile path through numerous residential and rural areas in southern Illinois. During its lifetime, the tornado destroyed multiple homes at high-end EF4 level. In addition, the tornado injured 7 people and fortunately caused no fatalities. In the end, the tornado was rated at EF4 intensity with wind speeds estimated at 190 miles per hour. Number 2 on our list brings us back to the March 14th tornado outbreak to the small town of Diaz, Arkansas, where a high-end EF4 tornado with wind speeds estimated at 190 miles per hour devastated numerous homes. At 11:13 p.m., the exceptionally violent tornado touched down just west of Nuckolls, Arkansas. The tornado then traveled 18.62 miles in 23 minutes, causing extremely violent damage to numerous homes along its path. Fortunately, even with its violent nature, only 2 people were injured and nobody was killed by the tornado. In the end, the tornado was rated at EF4 with estimated wind speeds of 190 miles per hour. Number 1 on our list takes us to a day we haven't mentioned yet in a state that is a significant distance from most of the other tornadoes on this list. That tornado, of course, is the Enderlin, North Dakota EF5 of the June 20th tornado outbreak, which became the first EF5 rated tornado in 12 years. The overall event for the 20th was expected to be highly variable, with an extremely potent system taking place with a stout cap overhead. The stout cap over the region caused high levels of uncertainty with the forecast over the region, as it could completely stunt any severe weather if it was not able to be overcome. However, even with the stout cap overhead, the SPC issued a 10% risk for significant tornadoes over a large portion of North Dakota. As the day continued to progress, it became evident that the cap would break and tornadoes would be possible through the evening hours. As one supercell began to intensify, a derecho was racing in from the west, producing straight-line wind speeds of over 100 miles per hour. As this derecho began to interact with the supercell, an extremely potent tornado formed at 11:02 p.m. south of Enderlin, North Dakota. The tornado then tracked in a backward C-shape as it produced exceptionally violent contextual damage and flipped over a train during its 16-minute life. Unfortunately, 3 people were killed as a direct result of the tornado. In the end, survey teams estimated that the train cars would have had to experience wind speeds well over the EF5 threshold to be flipped and thrown in the way they were. So the tornado was rated at EF5, with estimated wind speeds exceeding 210 miles per hour, making the Enderlin tornado the first EF5 since the Moor 2013 EF5. 2025 will likely be one of the most memorable and significant tornado seasons in recent history, due to the large number of photogenic and devastating tornadoes that occurred. As the 2026 tornado season continues to loom nearer, please always remember to stay weather aware so you can protect yourself in the event of a tornado in your area. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.